Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced from alexmercedcoder.com, and we're going to be doing some more Go. So this is video number 4. So in the last video we created this person model. Now again, down the road there is like this resource feature that is going to make all this much easier, but again the idea is to show you sort of how you would do it, not necessarily the long way. I mean, if I want to show you how to do it the long way, we would just do all the SQL queries, build out all the tables and all that stuff. I'm not going to quite do that, but to show you how what's kind of going on, what are all the pieces are, so that way when we show you this ways that you can automate all the pieces and make this really easy and get the real power from Buffalo, you're gonna be like, wow, that's really cool. So now that we kind of have the models created, what we're going to do is first make some routes. I'm just going to make two routes just to create a person and actually on that question, totally forgot how to do params. So let me go look up params real quick, because I want to use params for this purpose. Okay, params. Context. Here we go. Context. Okay, I know params are included in context. I just want to know ranging over parameters. I get that. Maybe it's in routing. Let's see here. Named routes. Where's a route? There we go. Okay, so we use this for params. Okay, got it. Okay, that's what I needed. So let's do app.get. I'm just going to keep them get routes because we're just going to do everything through the URL. Okay, so this is just going to be person slash person slash name slash age. Okay, so basically you pass in that'll create a new person, and we'll call this a create handler, and then we'll have another one to list the people. App dot get slash person slash list, and we'll call this list handler. Okay, so I'll save those, and we got the params. Let me just go back to context. And if you don't know what a param is, it just means that I could put in anything here in the URL and it'll be stored in a variable called name. I could put anything here and it'll be stored in a variable called age. Okie dokie. And let's see here. Back to context. I want to see what's all the properties of context. So here's the context. Okay, and here I can grab a param by entering. Okay, I see. Gotcha. Okay, so let's go back to handlers. Let me just close all these files. And let me see. It's called create handler and list handler. So let's go back down here. Copy a couple more handler functions. So we're going to have create handler, and list handler. And then I also want to make sure the models are available. So I'm going to go over here, do my project name, which the project folder is T, and then we're going to bring in the package of models, okay, which is that models folder, so that we have access to the stuff that's going on in there. Okay, so first things first, I want those name and age variables. So I'm going to go name. Okay, and name is going to equal C dot params. Let me just take a quick look again. A param. Okay. C dot param. And we want to go get the name param out of there. And as a quick side search, I would like to know how to cast a string as an integer, because we need to do that for age. Cast a string as integer in Go. Because what's going to happen is that all your params come back as strings. So in that case, the number, I'm going to want to grab that and turn that into a number. So a string conversion, a toy function. Okay. Got it. Okay, so that means I am going to have to bring in that string conversion library. So let's bring that in. strconf. And here's what we will do. For age is going to equal strconf dot a toy. Either ways use function. Okay, and then we're going to pass in there c dot param age. So that'll grab the age, turn it to a number, and now we have the integer age and the name. Good, 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 good. So that grabs the variables from the URL. Okay, and again at the end we're gonna send back some JSON. Okay, now let's go back to the documentation and learn how to create a new person. So let's go back to database querying in the docs. Where column showing query, select a specific column using inquiries, find where. Okay, this is only showing us the select specific columns. First, mode query go module go path. Mutations. That's probably we're going to find the creating stuff. There we go. So let's see here how we're going to do it without validation. Let's keep it simple. Okay, so we're going to say if fruit equals at models.fruit, create a fruit without running validations. C.create fruit. Okay, so essentially what they want me to do is this. So we are going to say a new person. So we're just say, I'll just use the word new equals a person. Let me just make sure that's the name of the struct. So I'm going to go back to models for a moment and go to person and just look at the struct definition at the top. Yeah, uppercase person. With name and age. Name and age, good. So we're creating this new person. Okay, and their name is going to equal name. And their age is going to equal age. I'm just going to write new P, just to make sure we don't run into any reserved words. Okay, and let's see here. So we created the new person. Okay, and it needs to be a pointer. So let's do at, because we're importing the models, so it's technically part of the models dot person. And again, this makes it a pointer, so we're grabbing the address to this new person, not necessarily the new person itself. Then it wants us to do error, which just means we're going to save the error in this variable if there's an error. And then we'll just say, what is it? C dot create fruit. Okay. And we need to connect to the database, it looks like first. Let me put that over here. I'll call it something else though. Okay, we'll call this con for connection, because we already have a C for context, so I don't want to overlap. And basically we're just saying here that if there's an error, it's going to equal our connection. We're going to create something, and we're going to create a new person. So we're going to pass in that new person that we created, and it's going to pick up on the type. So it's going to be like, oh, this is a person struct, so I need to add it to the person table. Good. And then what I want to do is return all people afterwards. So all. So let's go back and grab all people, which we go back to querying for in the documentation. And find user by ID. So cool. And basically wants me to do is create an empty struct. DB find add user. Find by ID, find all. Where? And 1, 2, 3. Oh. Okay. So I see what it's saying. So essentially what it wants me to do is create a struct. So this is going to be people. I could use people. Let me just remember how that. Or I can just keep it simple. Just saying I'm creating an array of person. Okay, and that's what we're doing here. So we're creating an empty array of persons. Okay, and then what we're going to do is just use this function, but I think it's not DB, it's going to be con, because it's representing our database connection. So it'll end up being, oh, not there. Our database connection, con, dot find all. Let's double check there. Dot all is the function. Was that uppercase? Yes. And then there, we pass in a pointer to all. And the idea is it'll pick up that it's a person array, so it'll then look for the right table because of the type and go from there. So I think that's all we need to do. Let's just give it a second to save, and actually let's restart our server and see if it complains. So Buffalo dev. Now when you run the resource command, what it'll do is it'll create the migrations, it'll create all the routes, it'll just kind of do all this stuff automatically for you, which is nice. But we'll use that later on. Just want to show you guys sort of the more sort of step by step way. let's see here. Returns 2 values. Undefined. Handler that go 22. Person, yeah, that's right, because we got rid of this. So let's actually just get rid of this line. Let's just I'm just gonna get rid of this route altogether, because Go doesn't like things just being around useless. So I'll get rid of this for now. Okay, undefined pop on line 34. 34. Where did I use pop? Oh, here we go. So we got to bring in pop, which I probably have over here somewhere. Pop, pop, pop. Here we go. So let me bring that in. Okay. Side mismatch one variable, but standard card returns 2 values that we're going to have to look up. No new variables on the left side of, that's on line 41. Somebody's complaining about that now. Undefined person. That shouldn't be undefined. Let's scroll down. Let's go to the news version. Imported and not used. FMT. Fine. I will take out FMT from here. Imported and not used. Undefined. Pop. Well, let's take a look at models and see how they import pop. Okay, so it's imported that way. Okay. So that got rid of some of the undefined still person. Models. Oh, I see. I think I know why. Handler, and that's going to be on line 32. Yeah, it's because this should be models, not person. Okay. That's on line 30. No new variable on left side. Oh, because we already defined that here, so we'll just call this error 2. And mismatch one assignment. And that says it returns 2 values, so we need to look that function up. Copy. Let's see what's the return value of this function. All I need to do is convert something into a number, but you know, it's always a learning process. Okay, so package string card, numeric conversions. Assume decimal, I just want to know what the return value is. So, okay, so we want the first number. So, in that case, this is going to be age error 3 in case there's an error. And that should, I think, fix everything. Error 3 declared but not used. Okie dokie. Okay, I'll just bring in FMT just for the sake of fixing that error in an easy way. So it's just basically complaining that I don't use any of those errors. So what I'm going to do is FMT dot print line error 2 air 3. So technically now they are used. And it's fading again. Okay, so I think we're good finally. So let's go back. What's the route again? Person, name, age. So we'll do person slash Alex 34. No. Okay, let's see if I try to do another person, because I might be basing it on what I hadn't added yet. Bob 55. No. Okay, so we're not getting back the people. And let's just take a look at those. Did it actually print? People at age, people that created. Age. Values. So here's what I will do as another test. I want to make sure that my new person is even being formatted correctly in the first place. So format dot print line new p. So what I'm trying to, well, actually I don't want to do that there. I want to do that further down, like here, because I just want to make sure that if we're using this to create a new person, that it is actually what I think it's worth. Okay, and see I'm getting those errors as nil, so it seems like it's running these things. So save. Let's refresh. Okay. Okay, there's the path. And we see that it did grab age 55, name Bob, but I don't think it ran it with the new print job. Oh, here we go. So it is creating a new person. That's good. You can see here, a new person has been created. Insert into people, age, and as people. It's just not sending it back as JSON very well. So what I want to do is pause. So here's what I want to do first. I'm going to go into my Postgres, just see if these things are being created. Because chances are I'm just not returning the right thing for it to show up as JSON. So I might be actually, because it looks like the queries are running. Question is the data being added to the database? So let's go into Postgres. Let's take a look at all our databases. Or actually I want to do slash L, I think. There we go. So our databases were created, so we can see where's the T ones. Here we go, T development. There's our database. So we're going to connect to that, Q. So we're going to connect to T underscore development. Cool. And now we want to look at all the tables. So let's see here, DT. Good. So again, here's the table of people that we migrated. And then this is the schema migration. So basically, every time you run a migration, it keeps track that it ran it. So that way it doesn't run the same migration twice. So that's kind of how migrations generally work. So if I could actually clear that table, and it would let me run all those migrations again, because it has no idea that it did them in the past. Okay, so now what I want to do is select all from people. Okay. Oh, forgot to put the semicolon. Okay, and yeah, so all the records have been added. So we have been adding to people correctly. So it is working. So you can see here, we've created 4 people so far. I've created Bob several times. Okay, so it is working. I am just not sending them all back properly. So at least that's we've determined that. So let me go back. So I did the harder part. It's the easier part, the part that I'm having the trouble with at the moment. Okay, so let's go back over here to here. Okay, I just want to find them all. db.all users. I think I see. So what I want to do is I want to cut, well, let me just make sure I'm cutting the right part out. Yeah, I want to cut this out of here. Run this over here. Because technically what it should be doing is actually editing back this. I want to send back this all array, because this is a pointer, so technically the way, as I understand it, this is going to refer to that address and then assign the values there. So then really what I want to send back is this. This is only going to return an error if there is one based on the syntax. So in that case, let's try this again. Let's do Steve, age 44. And call to our JSON.